Shocking confessions recently made by serial killer Samuel Little is helping investigators solve dozens of cold case murders. And as we told you in an Eyewitness News exclusive last week, two of his victims were from Houma. New tonight, Carice Jackman spoke with officials about just how crucial his confession is for their department.
Samuel Little is claiming responsibility for 90 deaths. Many of them were unsolved.
Cold cases are harder to resolve.
Assistant Chief Dwayne Farmer has been with Houma Police for 33 years. In 1996, 40-year-old Daisy McGuire's frozen and beaten body was found stuffed in a small area on Magnolia Street.
I happened to go to that crime scene. We
sat down with McGuire's family shortly after Little confessed to her murder and many more.
I always thought about, man, what was she feeling? What was she going through?
Farmer says DNA often cracks cold cases, but in Little's case, it was the confessions.
When I was speaking to Texas authorities, when he was giving me a description of the crime scene, I told him that I believe that we do have one before we even looked at the cases.
Those descriptions are what multiple agencies across the country are looking into. Some have closed cases that have been on the books for 20 to 30 years. Little confessed to being involved in 90 cases stretching from the West Coast to the East. 1982, Macon, Georgia. Fredona Smith was found strangled to death, her body dumped in a park.
The Lord knows whoever did it, God got his eyes on it. He gonna take care.
Her brother is now the only relative alive for the truth.
At least I was here to get closure.
Back in Houma, Farmer says Little's chilling photographic memory left no question about the two local cold cases.
He'd remember times, the dates, locations and towns.
We now know who was behind so many murders, but the more difficult question is why. In Houma, I'm Carice Jackman, Eyewitness News.
Assistant Chief Farmer says several agencies across the nation are still interviewing Little.